I didn't need a new scroll saw, but I wanted a new scroll saw. I'm 75 years old, and I'm at this stage in life where why shouldn't I buy myself something because I want it, even if I don't really need it. Well, I do need a scroll saw because I have a woodworking business. I actually have 2 scroll saws already. Maybe I'll sell one of them. But I wanted this 21-inch Pegas scroll saw. I've been using the Pegas blades for some time. I absolutely love them. I've got a video on comparing. I think I tried 14 different blades, sizes, and makers and configurations, and on top the Pegas modified geometry blades coming out on top. So we got the stand out of the box, get the saw out of the box on the stand. It's ready to go. Let's take a look at it. It actually came with a blade in it. The blade wasn't attached at the top. But it was at the bottom already. And there was also a little package with an assortment of Pegas blades. You can open this box, take out the saw, and put it to work right away. But you can see, here's your adjustment for tilt for the table. And it goes up to 45 degrees on either side. I've never needed more than 45. I don't use the tilt table real often, but it's easy enough to use. Coming off the saw itself now, you'll see I'll move those blades out of the way. I'll get that out of the way later on. The blade is threaded and it's in place. Very toolless blade change, which is one of the things I like. Finger tight on this, and then this little weight lever on top, you just flip that up and that's your tension. There's actually a second position back here. I'm not sure that when I look at the instructions I'll see what it has to say about that, but talking to one of the customer service people at Bear Woods, who's the distributor for these saws, told me to leave it, just use it in the first position, not to click it to the back position. There's the on-off switch. That's the slowest speed, which is very slow. I've got nothing I cut that I would use that slow, but maybe you're cutting something other than wood, or you're doing things on very thin wood. I'm also not sure what size blade there is, but your speed controls on top here, and even at full out, there's some vibration on the table, but it's not bad. It's very quiet, so that is a plus. I'm going to turn this back down for now, turn it off. The saw comes with this safety hold-down attachment, but is not attached. If you are new to scroll sawing, you probably should use this, at least when you first start. The guard will prevent you from getting your fingers too close to the blade, and it also functions as a hold-down, keeping the workpiece from being lifted off the table by the reverse teeth and the blade cutting in the upstroke. I won't be installing the hold-down for several reasons. One is that the scroll saw is safe if used properly. The blades are small. You'd almost have to work at it to get anything more than a minor cut, requiring a Band-Aid. I have thousands of hours of experience on the scroll saw, and I can't recall ever cutting myself. Second reason I don't use this gadget is that I cut some very small pieces and I need to get closer to the blade than the guard would allow. Third, I don't need a hold down. I have sufficient experience to know where to hold the workpiece and how much downward pressure I need to apply. On the rare occasions the workpiece gets away from me, I just let up on the dead man foot switch and the saw stops immediately. Once again, if you're a newbie, you should consider using this part until you gain some experience. I've got a question for the experienced scroll sawers watching. Do you use the guard hold down on your scroll saw? If so, why? And if not, do you have any reasons for not using it other than those I've already mentioned? There were a few extra parts too. I noticed there's an extra tension knob and a couple of extra tightening screws. So nice little touch there. I opened the box. It's ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's do something. This comes with a very nice scroll saw blade selection chart. It's color, and it lists the different Pegas blades: super skip, super hook, skip reverse, double reverse, MGT, spiral, metal cutting. So quite a bit. I don't even see the MGT is modified geometry. All right. I'm gonna say it. They better put those in there. I didn't mention before, but off to the right here, there is a dust extraction port. You can hook that up to a shop vacuum or a dust collection system. Anyway, let's make a cut. I've had this thing in the shop for almost an hour now. I gotta do something. I'm using a number 7 Pegas modified geometry blade to cut these animals from 1/2-inch thick sapele. The saw's dust blower has a long neck, which is handy for positioning it where it will do the most good, blowing dust away from it. My first impression is the cutting is smooth, vibration is low, and the noise level is low as well. Yeah, I'm used to the quick switch. I was wondering why it didn't shut off. Here's my first cut. This is a pretty nice chop. I'm not getting much tear out on the bottom. I got tear out with the other saw. I don't know if the saw or what. But anyway, it was the same blades. Very good job on that. Let me install the foot switch, and then I'll continue. I started with a few easy cuts on the 1/2-inch thick material, and I was impressed by how little tear out there was on the underside of the workpiece. I'm using the same Pegas modified geometry blades as I did on my old scroll saw, but I'm getting better results here. Not sure why, but I'm certainly delighted at the results. It's time to see what this saw can do. I make several toys where the body of cars or trucks are cut from 6/4 poplar, so I wanted to try one of those. I switched to a number 12 Pegas modified geometry blade for this task. As I expected, it was slow going, but there's plenty of clearance between the arm and the saw table. One of my older scroll saws simply did not have adequate room to clear stock that thick. I haven't tried it yet, but I think this saw could handle 8/4 stock. This truck body had an interior cut for the window, so I did that after completing the outside cut. It's very handy that you can loosen the upper blade holder, raise the arm just enough to clear the workpiece, then lower it back down to reclamp the blade. The arm holds in place securely while you're performing this operation. I tried one more thickness cutting test on an alligator-shaped crayon holder from 6/4 red oak. There was some burning at the bottom of the cut, but that may have been my fault for pushing the blade too hard. I'm still kind of excited about having a new tool, and I was a little bit impatient, I guess. The saw can certainly handle 6/4 material. You just need to use proper cutting techniques. I'm going to move the saw to a better location, what will likely become its permanent home, before I do any more with it. I unboxed and set up the Pegas scroll saw just a little over 24 hours ago. It's a weekend, so I had some time to really work with it. And I must say I am totally happy, not one disappointment in this saw at all. If you are thinking about a new scroll saw, and if this is in your budget, you can order this without any reservations whatsoever. I put it through its paces during the last day. I cut everything from 1/8 inch thick red oak all the way up to 6/4 red oak. That was one of my concerns to begin with, because I do have some projects that I use some 6/4 material, and it cut. The poplar, it went through fine. The red oak was a little on the slow side, but I think it was a particularly dense piece of red oak. There's a little checklist inside the box. I think it was hung on the scroll saw itself, with a few things to check, and it won't take you very long. Make sure you do that. The one thing that was off was that the table was not at 90 degrees to the blade. It was maybe at 2 degrees. I didn't bother to check. I needed to get, I wanted to get started so quickly that I had some things I started cutting. If you already have a Pegas scroll saw, let me have your comments on what you think of your saw. If you have another brand, are you thinking of moving up to a Pegas? Do you have any questions that I can answer? If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and any comments on this and any other video are always appreciated.